Take a chance on the Lucan Steel for another 5 points. I think it'll go, but when it does sell, it's too rich for my blood. Got 100 shares of Gulf in the morning. It was up 3/4 when it closed. Oh, and Chris, have the research department send me everything they got on that pipeline company. The stock was sold over the counter last month, but now it's listed on the American Exchange, and Marion has a hunch about it.
Is the plane from the States on time? Gracias.
I think a small amount of it should prove worthwhile. Look it over and take a chance on the Lucan Steel for another 5 points. I think it'll go, but when it does sell, it's too rich for my blood. Got 100 shares of Gulf in the morning. It was up 3/4 when it closed. Oh, and Chris, have the research department send me everything they got on that pipeline company. The stock was sold over the counter last month, but now it's listed on the American Exchange, and Marion has a hunch about it. Nevertheless, I think a small amount of it should prove worthwhile. Look it over and take a chance on the Lucan Steel for another 5 points. I think it'll go, but when it does sell...
I sound like him, all right. After 8 weeks, I almost can't recognize my voice from his.
Have the research department send me everything they got on that pipeline company. The stock was sold over the counter last month, but now it's listed on the American Exchange, and Marion has a hunch about it.
Name? Harris Chapman. General description? Very wealthy. How well do you know him? I know him very well, but I've never met him or anyone connected with him. Except Marion Forbes.
Harris Chapman was born in Seattle, April 3rd, 1913. Father's name, John W. Chapman. Owned the Ford Agency and was one of the largest stockholders in the Seattle State Bank. His mother's maiden name was Mary Burke, and she was the only child of a Seattle attorney. John W. sold out and retired in 1940 and moved to California. Both are still living in La Jolla. Harris finished high school in 1931, then went to Notre Dame and finished Tulane Law School in 1938. Just as he was getting his practice rolling, Pearl Harbor caught him. He went into the Navy as an ensign, where he grew a mustache because he thought his upper lip was too long, and has worn it ever since. When he got out of the service, he developed eye strain and began wearing glasses, usually horn rimmed. He has a tendency toward hypochondria and carries around a miniature drugstore with him. Ever since the cancer scare, he's been using a filter cigarette holder along with filter cigarettes. His greatest fear is mental illness, which he believes is hereditary. Basic description, 6 feet, 195 pounds, gray eyes, 46 years old, brown hair, graying at the temples.
That's no problem.
He usually wears a hat and feels undressed without one. Your basic descriptions overlap on nearly every point except age. You may not really look like him, but counting on the general unreliability of descriptions, I would say you look exactly like him. Hobby, big game fishing. Usually Miami, but this year Mexico. The point of the whole thing is...
The point is, some of us will do anything.